In this video, we'll be going over how the quote block works. So you can see that we're in the simplest template right now, and this is a simple quoting template. And you can see we have a project estimate here that we've already filled out. It has two sections, planning and concept and project execution, and then a subtotal down the bottom. So to begin editing, the first thing you have to do is to switch into edit mode, and immediately at the top you can see there are a few core options: taxes, currency, customize, and rates. When we go into taxes, you can see edit taxes. So let's create a new tax. I'm Australian, so we have GST, and it's at 10%. And that's all I need to do to set up the new tax. Now, you can add as many taxes as you need, and you can choose which ones apply. But for me, that's the only one I need. So we'll go out of taxes and go into currency. Now, the Australian dollar is the right one for me, but obviously I could change to any other currency in the world as needed. We're going to leave customize alone for now, but let's go into rates. Rates is where you're able to set up whatever your standard rates are. So there's a default rate here of $100 an hour, but let's create a new rate. We'll call this one Qwilr to be simple, and we're going to make it $1,000 per day. You could also have it per week, per month, or even per year. So we'll click done, and now we have two rates. You can have as many rates as you want, but for now I'm going to leave it there. So we've done that. Let's come down to this first section. As always in Qwilr, all of the text is editable and you can change things. So we could have concept, workshop, and team meeting in here. And you can also edit the price over here. So we can use the slider to go up here, or we could just come in here and edit this number and make it 4. To add a new item, you can add a rate item, a fixed cost item, or a text item by clicking on any of these boxes. To add a rate item, you simply click on it, and as you'd expect, we can choose the default rate or the Qwilr rate we just set up. Let's use the Qwilr rate, and we'll go and have 2 days. A fixed cost item, we'll call this fixed, and we'll make that cost, once you click on it, you can make whatever you want. We can make it $450, and let's have 7 units of that. You can also have text items where you explain your text. Very simply. So that's the core basics of adding line items to a Qwilr quote. These line items live within sections, and at the top of a section there's a few options. The first is delete, so you can remove the whole section. You can also move a section up, although this one's already at the top of the quote, or you can move it down. You can see these same options are available for the next section, so delete, up and down, and there's also a button to add a new section. So you can always add a new section below any other current section, and then move it up or down as you need. You can also see the subtotals, percent of totals, and discounts listed at the bottom of each section, and the same thing is listed at the bottom of the entire quote. So, now that we've done that, let's look at a few other things that you can do within the rate item. So, if you click on these dots on the side, you can see a few other options that come in here. So, you can say whether this item is tax exempt by simply checking the box. You could also change the unit name. So right now this is called days, as we've said it before. But if you were doing a fixed cost item, you might want to change the name units to something else. You can also add a discount. So we could add a discount here of $50. Not very generous, but you could add it. And you'll see down below that discounts have applied of $50. Let's leave that blank for now. The other thing you can do is you can delete the rate item, and you could also move it up or move it down within the order on the page. And to remove that, simply click those dots again. So you can see there a few core things to do within the line items. So that's covered most of what we have within the core parts of the Qwilr quoting tool. However, when we go back to display mode, we can see a few things. We can see okay, are we happy with how this looks now? Everything is correct, we're happy with all the core parts, but there could be a bit of extra polish made. So go back into edit mode, and the first thing is that obviously, as always, you can edit this text. So perhaps we want to make this header 2, not header 1. We want to make it italic, and perhaps for this section, this should be in bold, or we could change the text. The other part that's really important is the idea of customization. So when you click this button, you see a range of output options on the side here. So you get down to the bottom and you see we currently have a quote total, and that box is checked. We can uncheck that box if we don't want to have that. You can also have a range of things like, do we want to show the number of units that are available? So again, you can see these numbers being added or removed, whether you check this box. The same thing is true for unit price. Perhaps you don't want to show what the unit price is, you just want to say, hey, for this particular task, this is the fee. This is a very important part of Qwilr, and it allows you to customize the output to make sure that it looks great for you. And that's it. That's the basics of how you create a quote in Qwilr.